Hello everyone, this is Supersnoopy here, back with another SWTOR public video. Today I have for you guys another SWTOR public discussion video. In today's discussion video, we're going to be talking about the highlighted, hard mode operations. So I'm just going to be going over my views and opinions on this idea, where you can go into a highlighted hard mode operation that is, available for a week, where you do have a chance of getting some 224 gear pieces in SWTOR Republic. So if you guys enjoy this discussion video, as always, if you guys enjoy these videos, then make sure to leave a like. And if you guys want some nice gaming glasses, then check the links down below. No scope gaming glasses, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I'll see you guys in the discussion. Alright, you guys, let's get into this discussion right now. So as you guys know, in SWTOR Republic, there's actually something in the game that allows you to, of course, get 224 operation gear pieces without actually doing the nightmare modes where they can usually be accessed. So these are called the highlighted hard mode operations. So every week in SWTOR Republic, there's a hard mode operation that is listed, and when you do that, you do have a chance at getting some 224 pieces. It is very low, but the last boss in that operation is guaranteed a 224 piece. But yeah, guys, you can get the cool high-end gear just by, of course, doing these hard mode or these highlighted hard mode operations. And I think it's really cool, of course, that they have this ever since they recently changed it up with the Knights of the Fallen Empire, with the different stuff that you can get. And one of my different stuff is, of course, the stuff that is yeah, I could say, with just allowing you to get a bunch of different stuff from, a lot of operations, because they scaled all the operations up. So it's really nice, of course, because since you have all the different stuff scaled up, it makes it a lot easier to get gear. So I guess they just decided to do that again, and by doing that, they just introduced this little new thing. So you, of course, have a chance of getting some really high-end gear just by doing some highlighted hard mode, so you don't have to do all of the nightmare mode operations and stuff. But I mean, yeah, it's really cool because it allows you to get some of the extra gear, and then also people that don't have the time to, of course, because I mean, some people, they, of course, like to speed run the nightmare modes and stuff, but sometimes you can't get, groups together for the nightmare modes. But when it comes down to hard modes, it's a lot easier usually, unless you're trying to pug it. So I mean, there are progression guilds and stuff where you can, of course, just go to those and you can get groups for that. But not only that, sometimes people just want to find a pug group, just get something together. So of course, they will resort to hard mode sometimes. So when there is a highlighted hard mode, it makes it a lot easier to get people together, because people are like, hey, I can get some 220 gear, but at the same time I do have a chance at getting some other stuff that's really cool. So of course they go down to that, or they actually get a group together for that highlighted hard mode. So I think that's pretty cool, of course, that they do have that thing where you can just get some really cool stuff throughout the operations, and you have no problems with it. Now I know that there are some people that don't exactly like this, of course, because they're like, hey, I can work towards this gear in nightmare mode, and I don't want to have people that go through it and they don't do a hard mode and whatnot, and they can just go through everything just fine. But I mean, that is a valid point, of course, that people are like, hey, I don't really like this. But at the same time, in my opinion, I think it's really cool, because you can get, I say, operation gear pretty easy now. I mean, you could before, but they made it even easier in Knights of the Fallen Empire. So I guess it's alright that they can just go ahead and just do this right here, just to go ahead and help us out if we want to get gear very quickly. So that's one thing they did right there, is they decided, hey, we're just gonna go ahead and introduce this thing where you can just go ahead and just go through stuff very quickly. You don't have to worry about anything at all. And then they just go through that, and now everything's all fine again. We can just get all this gear right here. And I mean, it's alright, and I understand that people don't exactly like that, but ever since BioWare, of course, went this different, not really a different route, but they decided to do different stuff with the end game stuff, with how the progression works. I guess they decided that they're gonna keep this. I'm okay with that. But yeah, it all depends on your opinion, because I've heard people say that they don't like this change where there's highlighted hard mode operations, and I've also heard stories where people really do like this new idea. So yeah, I mean, it just really comes down to what certain people like, and that's okay if people don't like it or they do like it. It's just nice that they, introduce something else. to the game to just go ahead and just help out players that can't exactly, you know, get those groups together, or they don't have the time to do it at the moment. Or even then, you know, people that don't really do nightmare mode operations, they can just go and just try to get some of the end game gear just like that. So that's pretty cool as well. So that's also something that I really do like about it, is you can just go ahead and just do that. And, you know, people are okay with it, but like I said, I mean, even then, even though people are okay with it, some people, you know, they don't like the change, or they don't really like the highlighted hard modes and how they work. And that's okay, because even then, you know, I don't even really do the highlighted hard modes too often at all. But, you know, I'm okay with that, with not doing the highlighted hard modes. But, you know, I really should start getting into that, because even then, you know, I'm just in almost a full 220 gear. And I do have, like, one 224 piece. But even then, even if I do have that different stuff, you know, I do have that set amount of gear, I still want to, you know, get even higher end gear. And I actually want to go back into doing the really difficult operations. I definitely want to, you know, attempt TOS hard mode, because I've actually done TOS hard mode, a fair amount of it, but I've never bothered to go ahead and do Revan. And that's, you know, the main fight that a lot of people like. So it's really crazy to, you know, just go through it and then never actually attempt to Revan. I've literally never seen Revan in hard mode, but everyone's like, you know, you gotta try this, you gotta record this, and just try to fight Revan. But even that, you know, I definitely want to just go ahead and just do it. But yeah, I mean, that's something right there, of course, you know, something to just go ahead and do. And know that, yeah, I actually know that was the highlighted hard mode as of recently, so I should have done that, actually. That would have been a good idea, to just go ahead and just do that as the highlighted hard mode. But, you know, I didn't, which just kind of sucks. But, you know, eventually I will just go ahead and just try to do that, because I really do enjoy the whole entire idea of doing really difficult operations. I just need to go ahead and just get back into it, because I'm, you know, very busy, and I don't really get too much time to just go and just do operations as of recently, because, you know, I'm recording here, doing all that other stuff. I don't have time to do the very serious end game operations and stuff. So yeah, I mean, that's something right there. I understand that they've nerfed some stuff since then, but even then, you know, just by doing these highlighted hard mode operations, it can help with that fact. If you know you're a player that doesn't have too much time to just go ahead and just do some end game, you know, serious end game progression. Because I know that sometimes they do have the highlighted stuff for, you know, EV hard mode and KP hard mode, which are, you know, beyond easy. And I know they sometimes have SNV and stuff, which isn't too bad as well. I mean, most of the hard modes, honestly, you know, actually all the hard modes, you know, kind of not really including Ravengers and TOS, they're all pretty basic and self-forward. I mean, even then, most operations are like that in this game, but they are, you know, straightforward, but you do have to know the mechanics. I mean, if you don't know the mechanics, then that can really mess with you. I mean, even then, that's just kind of with every game when it comes down to operations, is that, you know, it's a basic concept, but it can become very confusing, and there can be some problems if you aren't careful and you don't look through stuff. So I can say, you know, overall, this highlighted hard mode operation stuff is really cool, and it is really nice. But even then, you know, I can see why some people don't exactly like it, and some people dislike it for certain reasons. But yeah, guys, I think that's going to be the end of this whole entire, you know, it's a SWTOR Public discussion video, just going over the highlighted hard mode operations that they included in the game. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video right here. As always, if you guys enjoy these videos, then make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you guys in the next one.